We are back and we're talking more Konflikt 47. At the time of this video going out, there's been a bunch of brand new pre-orders, plastic German stuff. Also in this video, we're going to be looking at the brand new roadmap for Konflikt 47 that's going to take us throughout this year. It is big. It's massive, a bunch of new stuff to talk about. Let's jump in, let's look at it, and of course, let's get to those glorious wafflings. Now, it was only last week that I actually visited Warlord Games and I got to see behind the curtain. I got to see a bunch of these models. I got to hold them, I got to touch them, I got to play with them in my own little way, and I have to say, they look absolutely bloody fantastic. I can share a little bit more information throughout this video of some other stuff that I may have witnessed as well, so stay tuned. But firstly, let's jump in and let's look at the roadmap, which is in the background right now. So as you can see, this is the roadmap, and it says at the top, the plastic release roadmap for Konflikt 47, but also make a note what it says at the bottom as well, because it says throughout this year, we will release non-plastic bot sets and blister packs. So this is not all the releases, this is just the main plastic releases they're going to be putting out, and there's a bunch of stuff, but let's focus on Q1 2026 first, because of course the big thing is the Rift War Volume 1 Festung Europa. Now this is where all the fun begins. This is basically around Dresden, and I got to read this book a little bit, and it mixes in with some of the models that we're going to be putting in the background and talking about now. The first thing is the Toten Rotte Arme. I'm sorry, Woodimp, if you're editing this together, I probably butchered it. I'm going to butcher all the German words actually a part of this. Now, apparently, in this box, well, it's not apparently in this box, it's actually, you can go and see it right now, actually on the website. So in this starter armor, you're going to get 45 Toten cores, 2 Knack Zerahers, again, I've completely butchered this, and a platoon commander and bodyguard. At this moment in time, I don't have the price of this, but if the prices has been put out at this point, then I'll put it on the screen. I'm actually going to do a separate video on the prices and the breakdown of these box sets, comparing it to actually Games Workshop starter armies, because when you get a starter armor in Konflikt 47, it's actually that. It's more or less a full armor, and you don't really need anything more. But anyway, let's focus on the actual models. And again, the Toten Core Horde, these are brand new plastic zombies. You get American troops in there, German troops in there. I'll tell you the reason why in just a second. And it's all to do with this brand new, well, I want to call it a spider tank, but everyone else was calling it like a prawn tank. How about a spider prawn tank? And that is the Knack Zera. And there's basically two formats of this. You can have like the melee version of it with the claws and stuff, or you can have like the range version, which comes with like double flamethrowers, which is really, really cool. Now, of course, as I mentioned, Festung Europe, the first book, is coming out, and I got to briefly look inside of that book, and basically what's going on with the lore, with the narrative, is that the Germans in this setting are literally doing zombie tech. Oh, I say zombie tech. They're literally learning how to like raise zombies, and these tanks are the part of that, like to control them and stuff. And it's, again, it sounds wild, it sounds amazing. So you can literally have like an army of like zombies marching towards your enemies, just ripping them apart, tearing them apart, right? Sucking up the bullets as your main forces charges forward. Again, this is all coming out now, the Q1. It's right now on pre-order, all plastic kits. I personally think it looks absolutely bloody amazing. Now, if we push forward to Q2 of 2026, we can see some big things coming. Now, one of the big talking points of course, is the Russian, the Ursus with mauls and the Ursus with claws. I know there's been a lot of talk about this because they were pulled from the starter armies because, of course, there were production issues. These are going to be coming back in plastic, which to me is an absolute massive win. I always say plastic is the king when it comes to models. I'm sure people have other views on that point, but to have these models in plastic, I think is a big, big win, and I can't wait to see it. So they're going to be redone in plastic, but the main thing here for me, anyway, is the British stuff, or I should say the British Commonwealth stuff at the bottom. So the automated infantry Mark 1s and Mark 2s, these are currently in Skyocast, and these are going to plastic, which is a really, really big thing for me because, like I said, I love plastic stuff. I'm doing British Commonwealth. I want an absolute massive army of just automators, like bots, beatbot bots, as I like to call them, marching forward. And I'm hoping these new plastic kits give me new ways to maybe pose and like make the models just look more unique and a little bit cooler. One of the problems I find with Skyocast at this moment is like the poses are kind of set in stone, where with plastic you do have a little bit more room to adjust them to make them really, really cool. Now, right at the bottom of this is something I really want to talk about, a Commonwealth hero. And I actually have a lot of, well, I say a lot of information. I have a little bit of an insight into this. Again, I peek behind the curtain. Maybe I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but I don't care, right? What are you going to do? Put me on another blacklist? I'm already on one blacklist. Again, I read, I skimmed through the Festung Europa book, and inside of that book, they mentioned a character, I'm trying to remember his name, something Bertie or something like that, but it's an automated character, which again is absolutely massive for me and the theme I'm doing for my army. So if this is something and it's linking up like that, again, I'm connecting the dots here. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm personally thinking it's going to be something automated. And again, that is in line with my army, and I can't wait to see what they do with that. So big things coming for the British Commonwealth in Q2, and I can't wait to see these new plastic kits that they're doing as well. And as we march forward to Q3 of 2026, it only gets bigger. I know, right? Insane. Bigger and potentially better if you're a British Commonwealth, maybe if you're American as well. So one of the first things I want to discuss is the Rift War Volume 2 Invasion America. This is going to be the next part of the narrative that they're doing. And again, I just want to talk about the narrative a little bit, because what they're trying to do now is trying to bring a storyline that literally drags you in to what's going on. Like, do you know, like we used to have like in the Imperial armor books and stuff back in the day for Warhammer 40,000, and we still talk about them today when it comes to like Badab and stuff like that. This is what they're trying to do. They're trying to set the world in a place where it attracts you, it brings you in to that place. So to have a book called, Invasion America, that is very, very spicy. If I'm not mistaken, again, don't quote me on this, I think this is down to the Japanese and their rift tech, and they learn they can teleport a bigger distance than they thought, and this teleportation can bring them to America. So yeah, if that is true, if the rumors and the whispers and all that and the theories, this could be massive. This could be very, very big if you're a Japanese and you're an American player with this brand new narrative book. And of course, all the new models that we're releasing with this. And again, the roadmap shows you what some of these models are. Again, they're not all the models because we're probably going to get some resin stuff as well. But the Empire of Japan Ghost Warriors, they were original Skyocast, so they're going to plastic. United States are getting a new walker. Well, I say one of their walkers is going plastic. The British Commonwealth, they're going to be getting a walker. The Soviet bloc infantry, new plastic Soviet infantry. The Molot tank, again, with the production issues, that's going plastic and everything. United States infantry and United States hero. There's a lot of stuff coming in plastic, which, again, I think people are going to really, really enjoy, really, really love with this big thing. Like, again, I think Konflikt is going to get even bigger and better, not just this year, but the year after and the year after that. I'm not blowing their horn just to blow their horn. I'm actually excited about this. I say a brand new game system, but a game system that's attracting more and more people, and they see that and they're putting more and more content out for people, which is a massive win for everyone bloody involved. Now, if we push forward to the last bit, which is Q4 of 2026. Again, we have a brand new Rift War Volume 3 book titled to be decided. I haven't seen this. I've got no information about this. Where could they go? Right? We've had Dresden, the United States. Where could they go? Maybe into Russia. Maybe like the Battle of Britain or something like that. I'd love more Of course, I would absolutely love more. Maybe it's America's revenge on Japan, since, you know, maybe Japan did invade America. Maybe they go back and they, you know, start fighting back against Japan and Japan's homeland, or some of the islands, and, you know, Guadalcanal and all that kind of stuff they can bring kind of into it and stuff. You know, that could be a really big thing. But you can see, like, the Empire of Japan gets a hero, and the Empire of Japan gets a brand new walker, and it does state at the bottom an updated starter armor for the Americans. Big things, massive things coming. We've got all the new pictures now. I'm sure you've seen them all in this video. Thank you, Woodimp, for editing it all in and making it look fancy and amazing, as he always does. I'm massively excited about this. I think if you collect Konflikt 47, I think everyone's going to be talking about this, right? Again, I said in last video it was 12 plastic kits. If you count all them, I think it's like 15 just on this for plastic kits. And that's the plastic kits. Again, at the bottom, there's going to be even more resin stuff on top of that. So a bunch of brand new stuff coming this year for Konflikt 47. I'm massively hyped about it. I can't wait to jump into it, and I can't wait to play even more stuff. And just before I end the video, I just want to ask you chaps, if anyone's in the UK and is interested, I'm thinking about hosting one of my first ever Konflikt 47 narrative events. I'm still working on the story ideas. Maybe the story then could be added to the actual game, because the Warlord developers are like that. If it's cool, if it's massive, if it's awesome, maybe this could actually take part in the actual real lore itself. So if you're interested, let me know in the comment section, because I would love to get a gauge of interest. It's probably going to be around you know, the north somewhere, the northwest, maybe Sheffield, Manchester, you know, around Barnsley, right? How dare you? Around that type of area, okay, rather than going all the way down south. So if you're interested, let me know in the comment section, and we can have a little chin wag down there, as we always do. Anyway, thanks for coming. Thanks for watching, as always. If you've got any thoughts, feedback, anything like that, post it down below, and I'll do my best to try and answer those questions down there. See you. Have a great day, evening, night, where you are, and bye-bye.